now watching Chopping It Up with Roger Cador and Perry.
All right, welcome back for another episode of Chopping It Up with Coach Roger Cador and Perry White. Of course, always, I'm Perry White, and he's the man, the myth, the legend, my man, Coach Roger Cador. What's up, Coach?
Oh, we got a good show for you today. We went and pulled one out of the archives. I thought about this guy, and I told Perry, we've got to talk about him. And a lot of people may not know. They may know very little about him. But by the time we're finished, you will know a lot about the guy. And he's bigger than the person you thought was the biggest guy at that university. He is that university.
Yeah, man, and I hope everybody had a good weekend, a great homecoming if you're watching or wherever you're at. You know, it was a good time. The weather was great. A lot of people on campus, man. You're talking about people talking about sitting in traffic 2-3 hours just to get on campus. So that showed the support of people coming back ready to have a good time and cheer the football team to victory. And the football team was able to get the victory of Alcorn, something we don't see too often around these parts, Coach.
That's right, and it was a big game to win because it keeps you undefeated on the western side. You're the only undefeated team there.
That's correct.
You know, now you've already got the leg up on Alcorn. Now you got to make sure that you don't have a slip up with Arkansas Pine Bluff or
Grambling
or FAMU. You got to take care of business, you see. And so they're in a great, they control their own destiny. That's the best way as a coach and a team. You want to be able to control your own destiny.
Want to control your own destiny. For everybody that's out there watching, if you're looking at us on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you're watching on Facebook, hit that follow button. Be able to keep up with us every week when we go live, typically Tuesday. The weather and everything else with our schedules work out. And as always, we're right here in the Roger Cador Baseball Fieldhouse, man. It always has to be a pleasure when you're able to walk into the building that honors your name.
Well, I try not to mention
and got your face up there on the wall, you know.
I try not. Look, for some people, that stuff is monumental. For me, it's not as big because I understand the limitation that exists. You know, there's a limitation that exists. Man, listen, I better be able to strap up my boots every day and pray to God that He let me get up and have a good time and not worry about my name being on that building. It's going to take care of itself in due time. The people that I think should enjoy it as much as me are the players.
Yeah.
They are the one that helped made me who I was as a coach. And I got to see a lot of them this past weekend. They came back to homecoming and we were able to talk about the old time, the good times, how much fun we had. And you know, one of them said to me, Coach, you were young when you coached us. That's why you were so damn crazy. I said, you're right, I was young.
You talking about putting that together, and the guy who you were talking about that we're going to kind of highlight in today's show was an innovator. And as you said, beyond his time, he's in the College Baseball Hall of Fame. He served as the president of Grambling State University. He was a lot of things for Grambling. But most of all, he was a man of Grambling, and that's Ralph Waldo Emerson Jones. And you speak very highly of him in terms of the history of what he brought to Grambling State and who he was as a man, a coach, and so much more.
As a player, I admired that man. There was something about that. I had an admiration for him. And I'm really concerned about how much you admire man, because they'll disappoint you. But I'm talking about the way he carried himself. That was the thing I liked, the way he carried himself and the thing that he did for his players. See, he did things for his players. You see, you're going to talk some about, but every time before they went and played a big game or in championship play, he had women from home economic come and sit up the table and had the guys dressed up and how they should eat and where the silverware should go. And oh my goodness, you know, not a lot of people did that kind of stuff. He went the extra step, you know what I'm saying?
Teaching etiquette.
Etiquette. He taught that, and you know, listen, That's big, man.
Yeah.
I played for a guy who wasn't going to do that. Let me put it that way. He just wanted, can you go out there and win me that game?
Yeah.
This man wanted, and when you talk about some of the other things he did, you'll know he helped a lot of people.
Yeah, Ralph Waldo Emerson Jones, he serves as the second president of Grambling State University. He served from 1936 to 1977. And he also was the baseball coach. So not only was he the president of the university, he was the baseball coach at Grambling. He was inducted into the National College Baseball Hall of Fame in 2011. And during his time as a baseball coach, he won 5 SWAC titles. But not only was he the baseball coach and the second president, he formed Grambling State's football team. He formed the baseball team. He helped form the band. He wrote the alma mater at Grambling State. He was the registrar, and he also served as the dean at the school. So all while being the president.
And he got a master's degree in mathematics from Columbia University.
Yeah, but he got his undergraduate from right here at Southern University in 1925.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. This is, I'm telling you, it was just something about the man that I like, and he had a smile on his face, and he was a happy-go-lucky guy. And one of the stories one of his former players told me is that Press had so much fun, man. He said when we had guys who could run, Press would slide into home plate with us. And then he would look around and dust his pants off and look around. And like nothing ever happened. I said, that's the guy. That's the guy. I wanted to slide. I would always come to home plate. I had many things cross my mind. Should I slide like Press? I didn't do it, but I should have. But
you know, you look at a guy like him, and also his grandfather was the first dean here at Southern University. So he comes from an educated background, and of course he took it and then took it to the next level. Then, as you said, they call him Prez. And what was your first memory that you can recall of just the lure of hearing about him and seeing him and getting an understanding of who this guy was?
Well, you know, he did something that he made it simple for his players. See, we say the guy got a master's degree in mathematics from Columbia University, Ivy League school. I was able to steal his sign. And I hate to use the word steal because it's not, in baseball, it's okay if you can find out what sign they're giving and you can take it and help your team. That is acceptable, you got me? It's not cheating in the word sense. What he did, which was for his players, he kept it simple. If he had the bat in the traditional sense, like if you were holding it straight up and down, your fastball for the pitcher. If he turned it down the other way, curveball. Now, to me, you know, that's a hell of a thing to do, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because he's keeping it simple for his players to be able to find out what's going on and then execute. You got me? He didn't make it very difficult.
It was simple enough for you to steal it, huh?
Not a lot of people stole it. Not a lot of people stole it. You know, I just got lucky. Let me put it that way. I got lucky. I caught it on a good time. I caught it on a good time. I mean, that's all I could say. I just caught it on a good time.
Now, he was a hell of a baseball coach. Won 816 games and only lost 218 games. So
really?
That's it. Coach from while he served as the president, he coached all the way through from 1936 to 1977, man. That's a long time.
Had a lot of good players, man. And they all love prayers. They all love them some prayers. You know. And, you know, and he came along at a time I wanted to, there's something else I want to talk about too today. Because again, we're going down history lane, memory lane here. And I had the opportunity to be in the presence of that kind of gentleman, you know what I'm saying? But in 1993, in Kansas City, Missouri, Coors Beer brought in 360 living remaining living guys who had played in the Negro League. And he brought them in. They brought him in, and they gave him a really good time. I remember asking my wife, I said, I really want to go to this affair. I said, this means a lot to me. I want to see some of these guys. They're not going to be around very long. You got me? So she said, well, go ahead. If that's what you want, go. And I was able to go. And then I got to be in the presence. I've got pictures taken with me, Buck O'Neill, Tommy Lasorda, Hank Aaron, Lou Brock. We all were. I have pictures with all of them, but it was double duty, double day. Double duty was 101 years old at the time. And he was still alive there. One thing about the old Negro League players, they lived a long time. Even though they had to harsh condition, they lived a long time. But it was a story told to those players. Chet Brewer told a story that really people laughed, and including myself, laughed at the time when it was told. But soon after I laughed, I felt something that wasn't right about, why are we laughing? And it was a sad moment. But let me tell you the story. In the 1930s, Chet was saying, in Chicago, there was a black guy went 7 days in a row to try and get a tryout on this white team. And every day the white coach said, boy, you come back here, I'm going to have you arrested. And he goes back in the same place. On the 7th day, he told his coach, today I'm going to embarrass that boy. They got this big hard-throwing white boy. When it's time they bring him in, I'm going to have this black boy, you give him a bat. And that opportunity came. And they gave him a bat. He said, boy, grab a bat. Brother jumped out of the stand, grabbed the first bat he could grab. And boy, he took a couple of practice swing, and hit a line drive off the right center field wall. Remember, he's a right-hand hitter, so he hit it off the right center field wall. Listen to this. That white coach said, ooh, look at that Cuban run. You see where I'm going with that? Who was it that hit the ball?
The brother.
And the white man said hit the ball?
The Cuban.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
A guy like that is dangerous. Just think how many people he could have influenced to do wrong things. Remember, they know this was a black guy. They heard him humiliating this guy for 7 days. You got me? Remember that. But with the twist of nothing, he said, look at that Cuban run, and the people believe he was no longer black. He was a Cuban. That's dangerous, man. That guy did some dangerous things to black folks, in my opinion. If he could convince people that was no longer black, he was Cuban. Just think, they knew he was black, but he said, look at the Cuban run, so they all were happy. If you don't tell me something is not wrong with that picture, I felt bad about that, because I said that was a sad situation that people had to live through with that guy. Because just like he did that, can you imagine what he could have done with some other people, have innocent people hurt or killed?
Yeah.
I mean, just think about it. And I feel for years, since 1993, that has been on my mind periodically. That guy did that. And I know many other cases, but this was a situation where so many people thought it was funny. I saw nothing funny in that.
Yeah.
It was not funny to me. Even though Chet Brewer did a great job of telling the story, it was not funny, man. It was dangerous. But Chet also said the same thing. There was a Cooper named Cooper, one-hand white guy, played outfield. I think with the White Sox or the Cubs back in the 30s. And they wouldn't let a black man play. This guy got one arm. So Chet said the only thing he could do better than me was scratch his butt in the same place every time. Not what he said. That brought the house down. He brought the house down. Said the only thing he could do better than me was scratch his butt in the same place every time. With one hand, what else can you do?
Nothing. That's it.
They had fun. So
yeah.
that was something that I wanted to share. And it helped our audience to think. You don't just laugh at something that maybe sounds funny. You got to think about all of the components that goes with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a person with that kind of can convince people that easy that they don't see what they see.
Mm-hmm.
It's trouble, man.
Yeah.
It's troublesome.
Having that type of influence.
Influence, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, I'm one of those guys, I'm listening to what people saying and what they're doing because that's the only way I survived over the years. I had to be smart. My mother taught me how to be a survivor, you know, when I was picketing and had to walk 10 miles on a lonely, dark road and get home, and they're telling my mother, we're going to get him. So I had to find a way to make sure that I was like when Jesus told them, bring all those guys to the waters, over 7,000 people to drink water, and he told them, only keep the ones that are smart, the ones that drink like a hog, put their head down. He said, only watch the one that drinks smart, use their hand, bring the water to their mouth, only take that. All the other ones who drink like a hog or a dog, send them away. Out of the 7,000, I think it was 7 people that did it the right way. And they destroyed a whole bunch of people because they were smart. They listened to what he said. The people who were picking only picked the ones who drink smart. Watch what they're doing, drinking by looking around. You got me? So those are the kind of stuff.
And when you went out and recruited players and you looked at tendencies and characteristics of players, what were some of the things that caught your attention that you knew that guy could play for you? And what were some of the things that you saw guys do that you said that guy can't play for me?
Well, I always like to get to the park early. Tells you a whole lot about a player if you can get there and watch them. If they're there early working on that thing, you got something. If they're there playing around, not doing anything that's baseball related, you don't have much there. You got to break a lot of habits. You got to, and you can learn a lot. If you go there and the guy's playing badminton, it's not going to help him be a baseball player. You got me? So you got to go there, watch and see some of their habit things that they do. That's what I do. I just let them show me what they do. I want to see them in that non-baseball situation. It'll tell me a lot about what I need to look for. And what I maybe need to polish on and help him with. So it's a lot of things that.
So it wasn't always about the play on the field for you. You noticed when they say you never know who's watching, you were looking at guys pre-game, before whatever, even after the game, just seeing how they conducted themselves and how they went about carrying themselves.
Exactly. And then, I'm going to give a classic case, and Ricky Weeks shouldn't be a classic case, but Ricky Weeks was a classic case. And I went down to Orlando, and, we had heard a lot of good things on him, and I had already gotten the commitment from his mother. So I got there early, and Ricky was the first one there. First one there at the park, at the All-Star game. They had over 100 scouts, scouting directors, GMs, everybody, big decision makers. They were so-called important people. And I'm watching, I'm hiding too, by the way. I'm hiding, looking, peeping, I'm peeping.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, I said, this guy's here early, he's taking some shadow swings. I said, you know, and then he's stretching. I'm saying, this guy's got it going. So now he took batting practice, the ball jumping off his bat, just jumping off his bat. And I'm looking around, what the scouts? They talking and laughing. I'm saying, that's good. They maybe gonna miss something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, God had it well. They didn't see what I saw. Ricky went 0 for 3 in the game, didn't hit the ball out the infield.
Just wasn't his day in terms of a performance.
It happens.
Yeah.
There are a lot of days people not gonna have that good day. That's why you gotta have other things to evaluate on. You got me? Because the game may not give it to you. It may not bring it. It may not, you know, so you gotta have other things. But he ran hard to first base, a 4-2. And had a good attitude. I looked at his body strong. He had a strong body, so. But most of all, he just looked like the right kind of guy when I looked at him in the eyes.
Yeah.
He looked like the right kind of guy. And that's the rest is history.
Let me ask you, you know, how often did you go look at for one guy who someone had probably, you know, mentioned to you, then you saw another guy who stood out, you know, and it's by chance that it was like, man, you know, I went for this dude, but hey, I had to go after this guy because nobody even told me about him.
It happened a lot.
Yeah.
You know, Kevin Johnson, the basketball coach, when I was coaching basketball, I was sent to go see his brother. And I came back to the coach and he wanted the glowing report. In Lafayette, that's where I saw him. And I looked and I was concerned. I was a young coach. First year out there, first recruiting trip. And he said, well, tell me what you saw. Well, I said, I saw a player, not the one you want, but another player that could play. And he looked at me funny and said, come on, what is this? I said, well, that's what you're asking me. I'm telling you I saw a player, but he ain't the one you want. I said, Donovan Hoskins is the guy. Oh, my goodness. That's just when you had to sign guy twice, in the January or February, and then again in May sometime. Something crazy. And he questioned me up and down about this guy. Could he play in there? I said, I'm telling you what I saw.
He wanted to see what you saw in the kid.
Well, yeah. Well,
and he had his mindset probably on the other guy.
Yeah, right. You know, and so he took him. He took the kid. He questioned me all in practicing. And I just, okay, coach, the kid can play. Well, the first game we played Cleveland State, I guess that was Cleveland State. And we playing against a Tillage, a guy 6'11" center. And Donovan is 6'6", playing center against him. And he's dominated this guy, blocked his shot, and the coach came to me and said, this kid can play. It happened in Atlanta.
Yeah.
He had me to go see a kid in Atlanta who was supposed to be all this and all this, score a bunch of points. And I came back. What did you see? His favorite word. I said, you see this little fat roly-poly boy? That's the one I saw.
He was the baller.
Yeah.
He stood out to you.
He said, this little roly-poly guy? I said, that's the one. I said, that guy who scored all them points, he's never going to play here.
Yeah.
And I had him pegged right because he never showed up. He never showed up to school, the one that he sent me to see.
Yeah.
The roly-poly kid came. And then I found another kid from Detroit and another kid from Sacramento. Those were the kids I found in tryout that made that team. And you know who benefited from them? Andy Stoglin and them guys. And that's who benefited because those kids end up being really good players. and I got them all as walk-on. You know, and my thing was, that's when I knew I had a chance to be a good recruiter. And then Andy Stockton, who was supposed to be a recruiting guru, said to me, I'm supposed to be very good at this. You're better than me. He said, you're better than me. He said, not only are you better than me, he said, you're better with the mothers. He said, once you get in there, the mothers, you got them. He said, that's the key. And he said, you're really good with them. So that's when I knew this back in 1982 that I was going to be a decent recruiter. I felt all along I could. If I could talk to people, I had a chance. If I could get in there and talk, I had a chance. They didn't always understand what I was saying.
Yeah. You had that twang to you.
Twang. I had a little twang in there, but if I could talk to them, that twang worked, you know.
Let me ask you this last before we get ready to go to commercial break. Being a good recruiter, evaluating talent, and sometimes it's not always in the numbers, it's not always in the stats. What makes a great college baseball recruiter when you're going out and looking at talent?
Oh, I don't know. I really don't.
You just, hey, you roll with what you know.
I try to tell people, don't do it the way I did. I never owned a watch. People had watches. They had stats. They wanted to know how fast people run, how hard they throw. They had all kinds of things. I just went there with me, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing to write with, nothing.
You was looking for hard working and work ethic.
Not only on that, it's just, let me tell you, it's something I inherited from my father. You inherited a sixth sense, okay? I inherited a sixth sense that I could tell and see things that is not visible to someone else. You understand? My daddy could see things that was not visible. I could see things that were invisible, especially when it came to people. And how you think I nailed all those kids? You know how many kids I nailed and only saw them for 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes? I had to make a decision and nail them. That doesn't happen. You know, those guys at LSU got to go 20 times to go see a guy. You got me? I didn't have the money and the time. So if I saw him for 5 seconds, 15 seconds, I had to make a decision because it wasn't coming back. So that's why I'm saying I had this ability to see what normally people can't see. It was a feel. It was really a feel, and I mean, I nailed so many of them. You wouldn't believe how many I nailed that way. I mean, I'm proud of the fact that I can sit here and say, you know, I could walk near someone and tell if they could play. And this is not brag. I'm not a bragging kind of guy. But people don't have that. I had this kind of stuff. People don't have that. They got to see a lot. I just need to be in the area. I just need to be close. If I can be close, I can almost tell and feel if they could play. I mean.
Well, you won almost 1,000 games. You sent plenty of people to the Major League Baseball, so I think you graduated plenty more. So, so I think that sixth sense worked pretty damn well.
It worked damn well, I'm telling you. And it's everybody just don't have it.
Yeah.
They just don't have it. I mean, some people get opportunity because of family connection, and they get chance. I had no family connection. What I did in basketball and baseball with recruiting is just incredible when I start thinking about it. Because I had to defend the very first recruiting trip. That guy was dressing me down, up and down, about could this guy play? And, you know, I said, Coach, you asked me. You sent me to see someone, and I'm telling you, this guy is the player. You know, and it happened on the very first 2 recruiting trip. You know?
Yeah.
I said, and he knew And the reason he knew, he said, after he retired, if I had hired you 5 years ago, you would have saved my job because you are really good at recruiting. I'm telling you, I went in this game, I would have tried and find a whole bunch of good players just on campus. And I'm telling you, Coach, that guy could play. Hell, I found 3 kids from Detroit. He had gone to Detroit and give scholarship to some guys that couldn't even play. I came and have tried, and I found better players from Detroit in the trial. How could this happen? And he was fussing at me about that. Well, you think you're going to find players in the trial here? Yeah, Coach, we're going to find them. You know. Matter of fact, one of the kids, he started a walk-on from Sacramento, California. I went in and I said, you need to come in here and see this kid. And he didn't want to come, and I got him to come in there, and he said, damn, he's pretty good, huh? Yeah, Coach, he is. And he's a walk-on. He's a trial. I mean, you know, so, but you know, people didn't want to get out that you had to recruit a guy from being able to play. Back in the days, you know how many kids I got that I didn't recruit? You know, I didn't recruit them. I just, again, that sixth sense, I smelled the fact that they had something to offer, you know. And I remember when I'm going to tell this story of baseball. I went to Houston. A former player from Southern had called me and said, there's a pitcher here I need you to see. You can really do it. Really? Said, Saturday they got a trial. You need to come. I said, I'll be there. Drove to H-Town. Got me a seat in the stands. I'll be doggone. Before I saw anything else, I asked, who is that guy out there in center field? The guy said, what? I said, no, he looked like the ball player here. He said, he hadn't done nothing. I said, I know it. I said, I know he hadn't done, but he's the ball player. Well, he was the ball player. Yeah. I ended up signing the pitcher too. But that was the ball player. Got drafted. You got me?
You saw his potential.
Way before he did anything. Well, it happened in Thibodeau. Terrence Hill. Jerry Flowers. And Jerry had signed a kid to a scholarship, and they were pitching against each other. Terrence is a 5'7" left-hand pitcher. 145, maybe 150 pounds. And he's walking on the mound to warm up, and I said, I think you signed the wrong guy. I said, that's the guy you should sign. He said, Coach, all that guy's doing is walking around on the mound. I said, I know. I said, but look how he's walking on that mound.
He had command.
He hadn't even started warming up.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just something. It was just something about the way he walked on that mound. Well, found out later he was a quarterback, a very good quarterback. Well, I said, I think we got somebody here. He said, Coach, that kid is 5'7", a little old kid, Coach. Why are you wasting your time? I said, let's see. The game starts. He throws a one-hitter. He pitched a one-hitter. I said, do you think this kid can pitch now? This kid goes and damn near never could get beat. The thing that I loved about that kid, too, a scout for the White Sox saw him pitch, and being small, the scout said, how tall are you? He looked at the scout in his eye. He said, how tall you want me to be? He said, put 5'10" down. He said, I'll put 5'11". That's what he put down on the paper. Kid pitched, damn near pitched in the big league. He pitched in AAA. My point I'm making is that there are just some things. Now, how could I have seen that in the kid just walking on the mound? He hadn't thrown a pitch. He's 5'7", so you're not talking about a big old kid. You got me? You're just talking about if you're looking at it, you say, that's just a little kid. That's a ball boy. You got me?
Mm-hmm.
To me, it wasn't that. It was something else. It was something else that I saw. I was able to say to the coach, that guy's the guy, man. That's the guy we should be watching. And he was the guy. He was the guy. For 3 years, he pitched for me. He held people down, beat a bunch of teams, you know. So I don't know, Perry. I don't want people to think that I'm full of myself, but I am full of myself when it comes to being able to feel and smell and see things that most people can't see.
Mm-hmm.
God gives everybody a unique talent. Everyone have unique talent. You just got to discover it. You got it? He gave you the unique talent. Everybody got it. So don't be angry with someone when they are talking about. I'm telling you all about my unique situation. Now, did I miss players? Yes, I did. Because I had so many, I had to miss. You got me?
Yeah.
I had so many, so I had to not catch all of them because I had nowhere to put them.
Yeah.
You know. And did I have to move some players from one position to the other? Yeah. I moved Ricky Weeks twice before I got him to second base.
Yeah.
You know, so I moved people around to fit their ability, you know, and make things happen. So
yeah, the one story I know I always go back on is the player that you say you missed from East St. Louis.
East St. Louis, I thought about him the other day.
Said he could have been the greatest.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that one. And the thing is, one of my former coaches brought him up. Said, D'Lo Pitts. You say, you remember him, coach? Said, what a guy. I mean, you know, you just don't get your hand on them kind of players very often in a lifetime.
Yeah.
You're just a rarity. You know, this guy had more ability out of high school than a Ricky Weeks. He showed it. Well, Ricky didn't show his until his first year here. You got me? Mm-hmm. This guy showed it out of high school. You got me? He showed things that Ricky didn't show.
He was a ball player.
Oh, my goodness.
What'd you like most about his game?
He had a total game. Everything was total.
Oh, he was everything. He was total package.
He was total. He was the total package.
Yeah.
He was, you could put him in center field to the wall and say, throw someone out at home plate. He could damn near do that.
Damn.
You know, swing the bat, run. Really had a good glove. Just.
Did he have a good baseball IQ?
Well, I'm sure he did. We never got to see a lot of it because remember,
yeah,
he left.
Yeah.
We didn't get, but what he showed, we all knew he showed. Yeah. I'm angry with my nephew because he could have stopped that guy. He could have called me and said, man, D'Lo Pitts, you don't let that kind of kid leave without telling someone. You got me?
Yeah.
You don't get to play with, you're not going to get to play with them kind of people. You know, but everybody thinks about themselves and not the next person. That's all that was about. You know, there was a lot of selfish people.
Yeah.
They probably say, hell, let him leave. That would open up a spot for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because they knew they couldn't beat him out. You know, rather than say this guy come from a situation where, you know, he needs help. He needs somebody to care for him, talk to him. You know, don't let that guy leave. You just can't let certain people leave. You do whatever you have to do to stop them. That's the way I look at it. I may be seeing things different, you know, but that's the way we did it when we were in school. We weren't going to let nobody leave. Mm-hmm. If they're trying to leave, we're going to say, hey, man, you can't go back home. You got to stay here. And it makes it a little different when they know somebody cares about them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Tell them they have to stay here. You can't go back home. What did the kid go back home to? Nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing in East St. Louis.
Not at all. Still to this day.
If he's alive. If he's alive. I mean, I don't know. You know, it's just so sad, man. God only creates so many special, talented human beings. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he was one of them. Yeah.
You know, and I lucked out on him. I can't remember how in the hell I even found out about it. Because it wasn't like I recruited him.
Yeah.
It's just that I probably went into East St. Louis. I made a trip into East St. Louis, and I ran into that kid. And a guy told me about it, said, hey man, there's a player. That's a unique player. I'm gonna show you. And the guy took me over there. That's why I saw him. Didn't know the kid existed. One thing I did, I went into East St. Louis when I was recruiting as a basketball recruiter and as baseball. So I went on both ends.
And East St. Louis known, they have athletes, football, basketball, baseball.
Yeah.
Plenty of athletes.
Well, Coach Shannon was the football coach over there. Mm-hmm. High school, East Side High or whatever. You know, Lincoln was, I think, the one high school there. Let me tell you something. Raggedy on the outside, but until you get on the inside, those kids had done such a wonderful job of maintaining their school on the inside with their painting and everything. Oh my goodness. You know. Yeah. But the school was raggedy, and the system, you know, it let them down. Yeah. Jackie Kersey was Jackie Joyner. Kersey went to that school. The track girl. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I've had a hell of an experience, man, in life. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, most people wouldn't want to go inside that building once they saw, but when you went inside the building, the tranquility. I was so at ease to see what the kids had done. And I said, these are some talented young people, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I said, they care because they couldn't have done what they did on the inside. Just think if we had given them a nicer building, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But they didn't complain. They took what they had and made it work. You got me?
Sounds like you here at Southern. Took what you had and made it work.
Gotta do it.
All right, let's get ready to take a break and we'll come back. We got to pay some bills, but we'll be back with more Chopping It Up with Coach Cador and Perry White.
Smart Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge because BTR is so close and convenient. They're always one step ahead rather than dead on their feet. So, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport. Some Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge. Some don't. The ones that do know BTR is all about being closer, more convenient, with non-stops and short hops to anywhere their business takes them. They also know not flying BTR means more traffic, longer lines, and wasted time. So if it's about going from driveway to runway with a lot less highway, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about time.
Getting a letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Call Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040 today. We'll help stop garnishments, levies, and seizures immediately. With over 35 years of dealing directly with the IRS, our team of local professionals will help you pay the least amount possible. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, you need help. Call the tax professionals at Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040. Your go-to tax relief.
Have a passion? We've got the place. Gear up for where the rubber meets the mud, or stir up memories of a lifetime. Reach new heights, gravitate towards something out of this world, even travel back in time. You might like a little drama in your life, or get in touch with your inner nature lover. Release some pent-up energy while you're at it. There's plenty to do beyond the swing sets. BRAC, we're more than a playground.
With over 60 years of combined experience, Kathy Sherburne and Anna Barnett bring a wealth of knowledge and excitement to the framing industry. Keeping strong to the Louisiana culture, Acadian Frame and Art has numerous local artists and sports team memorabilia for their customers to choose from. Whether you're creating a gallery-like setting in your office or simply looking for some fun art for your kids' playroom, Acadian Frame and Art is your one-stop picture framing spot. Call 225-927-6129 or go to www.acadianframe.com.
Get the memoir from the legendary baseball coach from Southern University, Roger Cador, Against All Odds. Roger refused to let his past dictate his future by rising to legendary college baseball status. An inspiring story of tenacity, faith, and hope. Against All Odds chronicles Coach Cador's determination to reach higher, to want more, and to dig deeper to find the courage to chase his dreams. Against All Odds. Get yours today by Cador & Cador Publishing. You are now watching Choppin' It Up with Roger Cador and Perry White.
All right, we're back with more Chopping Up with Coach Roger Cador. Of course, I'm Perry White. He's the man, the myth, the legend himself, and more Hall of Fames than I can count. Coach Roger Cador. You trying to count them Hall of Fames? Between the Hall of Fames, the rings, the trophies, man, it's too much to count. But, you know, as we get ready to close this thing out, Game 1 of the World Series is going to start on the 25th. It's the East Coast versus the West Coast. It's the Dodgers versus the Yankees. For you, look at Garrett. Garrett is a Yankees fan, so, you know, he's excited about it. For you watching this leading up into the playoffs and now getting the East Coast, West Coast, Dodgers, Yankees matchup for the World Series, what's your thought on baseball right now?
Well, it's in a good place. The games have been very entertaining and well played. And I think the younger fans, as a matter of fact, I spoke with a couple of baseball players, and they enjoyed it too. And this is what baseball needs to do. Capture your younger audience. You're losing slowly but surely your older audience. So you need to bring in a new group of people, and you got to get the younger audience.
What has impressed you about any player has stood out to you so far?
Well, pretty much, you know, I would think that, you know, let's say if we go to, I don't know, the pitching in particular have really done a good job because, I mean, they have high octane when they bring them in, you know what I'm saying? And it makes it tough for the hitters. Can you imagine all of the different guys throwing 99 plus? It's not that easy for the hitters, you got me? And they don't get to see the pitches but 1 or 2 times. And so you're seeing a different arm literally every at bat. And that's tough. So that's why you don't have as much hitter success, and pitchers is dominated. But, you know, it's Mike Stanton, John Carlos Stanton, and Gary, big guy in right field, center field. I can't think of his name. Judge, and then we got Soto. So they've all done a good job for the Yankees. They've gotten a hit when they needed to. The Dodgers haven't done as much offensively. And they're going to have to do more if they're going to have a chance against the Yankees. And it's going to have to come from more than, you know, the big $7 million guy. You know, you got to have a whole team.
Yeah.
You got to have different people got to get the hit. And that's what the Mets did so well. Different people were coming up with the hits, you got me? And it makes the team so much more better when you have different people coming up with clutch hits.
Who you think gonna win this World Series? Who you got?
Well, I don't care who wins. You know.
Pick somebody for me. Dodgers, Yankees. Who you think gonna win it?
I think the Yankees got a good chance to win.
Yeah.
I like what the Yankees got coming out of that bullpen, man. You know, they're bringing some fire. And the Dodgers got a little misfire when you come out of there. They're not from top to bottom as strong as the Yankees with their relievers. So that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
You know.
You gonna be tuned into this one? Not really.
It depends. It really depends.
I know Garrett gonna be tuned in. That's the Yankee fan right there. He love his Yankees.
Yeah. I had to make sure I think the Yankees gonna win because I don't want the guy to cut the camera off and walk out of here. You know?
You gotta choose your answer wisely.
Huh?
So you gotta choose your answer wisely.
Yeah,
Huh?
wisely, yeah. Yeah. You know. Yeah, you gotta choose them wisely.
You know, I grew up a Braves fan. I just hope one day when the Braves can get to the big game.
They've been there.
Yeah. But you know, they're not there this year.
Well, they're not gonna be there every year.
Well, it seemed like the Yankees just always in the dang on World Series.
No.
Good.
Yeah.
I hope it might be the last time in the next 15 years. The Yankees kind of put me in a position like those teams, like the Patriots were for so long, you know, just dynasties, but storied history.
Yeah, storied history.
Mm-hmm. And the Dodgers as well.
Yeah, well, remember, Dodgers were in Brooklyn when they were there. They played the Yankees. And now when they moved to L.A., you know.
And that's some good history right there.
Yeah, real good history. Ebbets Field, the Bums. I mean, this is, you know, this is what Major League Baseball dies for. A Yankee Dodgers, New York, LA series. I mean, they couldn't actually. Now, all they want is the games to be good.
Yeah.
Because you got the two biggest markets.
Two biggest markets.
They die for that, the big markets. You know, you can't, you know, you can't ask for anything else other than the biggest markets on Showcase.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's all you got for me? You still didn't pick? Who you picked?
Yeah, damn the Yankees.
There you go, Gary. He got you. You know, your lead Corso pick. He got you the Yankees to win this thing. You know, before we get ready to get out of here, Coach, you know, aside from homecoming, you getting a chance to see a lot of people and former players and have conversations, man. What you got coming up next?
Let's see. When December, hey, I got something coming up in February. I got something with MLB coming up in February. Mm-hmm. I've got 2 events in February, so. And then I go to Panama and do a clinic and in December 9th, so I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do a clinic. I'll be there supervising and making sure everything go okay, you know. But yeah, December 9th through the 13th, 12th or something like that, I'll be going with doing the clinic. So there it is. Those are the events that I have on the agenda and going from there.
We want to appreciate everybody out there watching and tuning in to us today. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you're watching on Facebook, hit that follow button, man. We'd love to have your support. It costs nothing. My man, Roger Cador, Coach Cador, the Hall of Famer, the man, the myth, the legend, and myself, Perry White. You know, we do this every Tuesday, and we hope you guys have enjoyed it. And then what I like about it most is good history. Get a chance to go back in time, learn these stories, get a chance to have conversation about the greats, about names that we may have forgotten about, but also to put some respect on names that people may not have quite, you know, understood how deep it went in terms of the work that they put in order to be successful. So, you know, that's what I enjoy most about this. So I appreciate you, Coach, for each and every week, man, being able to teach me something, because that's what I'm sitting here doing. I'm learning.
Well, thanks for getting it out of me. You know, you're the one guy that wasn't afraid to indulge in it, grab, go in and let's have it. You know, because a lot of people, they'll say this is boring. Well, history is not boring, especially when we don't have any other way, because our history is oral. Mm-hmm. It's not written. And this is the only way you're going to get it. You got me? You know, so, and I admire you for wanting to dig into it and get it out of me, because I don't have anything written down. I want to be able to let it out, give it back. And I want to tell a story. You know, I remember when Buck O'Neil was telling the Negro League story. Burns, what's Burns' name? Ken Burns. He gave him that microphone and said, "Talk, give us the history." You got me? And that's when you don't put no parameters on people. Let them go, and let me go, and I'll give it to you. Because every day I think of more and more stuff that I could share with our audience, and you know, we're gonna dodge into basketball, you know, and the SWAC as a whole. We're not just gonna do Southern. We want to do SWAC as a whole. Other schools, like we did Grambling with Press today. You know, there's another guy I want to be able to do. Hobby coached at Grambling damn near 50 years, the basketball coach. Well, I got a great story about Hobby. You know, when I was an assistant basketball coach, he was the head coach, and Dale Brown was the man in Louisiana, and we had a big meeting at UL, and you know, Dale sort of wanted to take over, and Hobby cursed the hell out of him and said, "I'm the man here. You don't know." I was what is about to happen in here, you know. But my point was, it's a shame that he had to do that, because he was the man. He had the history. He had all of the players in Louisiana. He had it. And they were trying to remove it. You know what I'm saying? And he wouldn't let it. He fought for what he believed in, and that's what, you know, that's what you need. See, not a lot of people gonna know that story, but he fought. And the young coaches today benefit from that, you know. Now, it probably hurt him from getting something done, because they went and said, "That's a rebel."
Yeah.
He wasn't a rebel. He had to fight. Eddie Robertson wouldn't have done it. Eddie was different. He would have just let it go. You got me? But Hobby wasn't going to let that go. Yeah. I was a young coach in there. Probably 25, 26, 27, sitting in there watching it as it took place. You got me?
Well, everybody, we're going to get ready to get out of here. As always, once again, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button. And I'm Perry White. He's Coach Cador. Coach, get us out. See y'all next week.
Get the memoir from the legendary baseball coach from Southern University, Roger